Okay, guys, let's talk Lua. So we took a fairly brief sabbatical there to play Mind Test, get familiar with it, get excited about Mind Test. Now we're back at the grind, working on our Lua. Shortly, we will be moving into actually kind of playing around with PiratesCove. I've kind of decided to take a different course of action. Instead of slowly working my way through it with you, I'm going to try to write out the majority of it, and this is tentative, but try to always catch the bell before it records it, but whatever. So, tentatively, I'm going to give you the PiratesCove script, and then we might add a few little things here and there, and you can customize it and change it, as long as it's not too dramatic where I don't really know what your code is, but you can change the theme and whatnot. So, all that I really need to do is give you a couple more tools to put in your tool belt so that you know how to work with what I've done so far. So, quick tour here. I have what I've worked on so far, and that's it. It has 94 lines. Let me move this out of the way. You can see a lot of those lines are skipped, but we have up here the functions, and then we have just some player definition, and then we have this little thing down here. So as you can see here, from the numberings to the side, we have skipped a lot of lines, and that's because I've collapsed a lot of these functions. This helps with readability of your script. I like to stick as much as we can into functions so that we can collapse it down. It makes it much easier to read. Now, following the line of logic, is a little bit more difficult. For instance, the computer will start at the top and go down the script, reading all of the functions and defining them. And then it's going to go down into player, and it's going to read all of this. This is a one-time. It only gets to run one time, and then it hits this, which I will explain later. But basically, this loops. It does not allow you to get out of this loop right here. We haven't really talked about loops yet, but it's basically it just repeats these 4 lines of code. Now, I can add whatever I want inside of this loop, but for now, it's just 4 lines, and you can see here that I've written out Tortuga, Sail, Attack, and Sail. Now, what am I referencing? Well, hopefully you recognize that I'm actually referencing a function. Up here is the function, and so when I open up this function, I can see all of the code that I have defined in there. And so it's easier for me to read. I can kind of lay out the cycle of the game here in this loop by simply defining it with words. And so Tortuga is, of course, the place where you buy stuff. And then you go to Sail, and which would be, I haven't quite defined. I'm trying to keep this extremely simple so that we can then come back and add all kinds of little flares. But sailing, I haven't quite defined. Attack, of course, is when you actually encounter a ship. And there's quite a bit of logic that has to go into that, so I'm working on that. You can see here that I've defined the sail and attack. There's also several other supporting functions which I wrote out and we have written out in the past. I will be, like I said, probably giving you most of these functions. But hopefully you do take some time to familiarize yourself with them. And so since it's been a while that we have engaged in writing Lua, what I think we should do is take today to just read this code and try to look for some various things that I tell you to look for. And so for lack of a better method, what I'm going to do is just simply throw all of our code onto a Google Doc. Now, will this be the main Google Doc that we always use? I don't know yet. I might just, each time that I give you an update, send you out a new Google Doc with the updated script so that we can have some of those backup copies to look at. I don't know yet, but for now, just in your assignment, open up that Google Doc that's attached and you'll just be copying and pasting this into a Notepad++ document. And it should be, I would go ahead and open up your PiratesCove.lua, clear it out, and put all of this code in there. After that, go ahead and run the code just to kind of see what the code does. No guarantee that the code will work, because copying and pasting between different text editors could cause trouble. So we'll work through that, of course, in class. If you do encounter issues in this process, be sure to make note of those issues so that next time we do this, if we use the same method, you won't take so much time. First question that I want you to answer is, find the sleep function, and you'll notice that there's an n between the parentheses. What is that n for? Second question, what is the num choice function? What does it do, and why does it work? I think that is enough for today, so there's those two questions. During this process, you are going to find it very difficult at first glance to understand what is going on in the code. But have some peace of mind, because after looking at it and digging in, trying to follow the line of logic, it will become more and more familiar. I don't want you to miss this, because it's often something we forget to learn and to recognize, is that in the awkwardness of learning, we can recognize that we are learning, and then as a result take the appropriate approach to attacking the challenge. So don't shy away from that weird feeling of like, oh, this is new, I don't like it. Learn from it, okay, during this process, because ultimately, guys, I want you to learn how to learn. Thanks for watching, guys. I will catch you in the next episode.